Good morning to everyone. I am hoping and trusting that everybody is having a marvelous Monday. It is Monday the 10th of June 2024. I am your host, Azard Gumbs, and I'm hoping that everyone is having a wonderful Monday morning. In fact, a beautiful morning to everyone who is listening, everyone, whether you're at work, whether you're at home, or otherwise. A beautiful morning to you. We have so much to talk about this morning, so many things that we can discuss. Over the weekend, if persons were to follow, we had just Sunday. Yesterday, we had the People's Action Movement held its annual convention, whereby it ratified the new executive. And for the first time in history, the People's Action Movement has is being led by a female, and in the person of lawyer Natasha Gray Brooks. She is the political leader of the People's Action Movement. And, from here, Island T, we wish to congratulate Natasha Shani Gray Brooks on her election as the new political leader of the People's Action Movement. And in fact, we wish to congratulate the entire executive of the People's Action Movement. The executive seems very eager, willing, and able to do what is needed to ensure that the People's Action Movement progresses, and to make sure that, St. Kitts and Nevis, when it comes for election, that there are alternatives. And so it is important in a striving democracy. It is important that we have a strong opposition, and that is what the People's Action Movement is putting forth. And so I say good morning again to everyone who is listening, everyone who is tuned in, and I'm sure by the end of the day we're going to have some callers. And so callers, we ask you not to forget WINNFM, not to forget Island T, and of course during your time you can call in, you can give us your views on whatever matters you see, whatever matters are forthcoming. And so we appreciate you, we appreciate your communication, we appreciate your input and involvement. And so we are here and we are ready to start the morning off. Of course, as I said before, the People's Action Movement just yesterday ratified its new executive, new leader, new everything. And so we are waiting to see what the People's Action Movement has in store. Jamsa, did you get an opportunity to look at the convention?
No, actually, I didn't. Because I was really busy yesterday, and because I actually didn't work yesterday. So, yeah, no, I wasn't the one that was here. So,
okay.
Which is why I was asking.
Yes.
I was asking what was going on.
Yes.
Which part of it you guys broadcast.
Yeah.
We should let all our listeners know. Kortensia will not be with us this week. So,
Wow.
Yeah. So she don't worry, she's fine. She just because she has another job, So
yeah,
she's not going to be with us this week. So
wow.
we're going to try and model through.
Yes. Oh wow. Yes. Okay. Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So
yes.
yeah. So yeah. So yeah. That's why I was asking. I noticed about. I looked at the recording length. It's about 90 minutes. So
yeah, that would have included the speaker
Mm-hmm.
and the new political leader Natasha Shani Gray. And of course, there were speeches before. There was the outgoing speech from the former political leader, the Honorable Dr. Sean Richards. There was the passing of the hat as well, when the Honorable Dr. Sean Richards placed the hat on the new political leader's head, Natasha Gray Brooks. Also, there was so much excitement in the air. The entrance, everything, the stage was alive. And so many eyes yesterday were placed on the People's Action Movement and placed to see what the People's Action Movement had in store for the people, what message would have emulated from the convention. And of course, the political leader, in her remarks, she spoke about, so many things. She spoke about the tough situations that we see here in St. Kitts and Nevis, and the need for persons to put, and for government to put people first, and for the People's Action Movement to put people first. She spoke and said if there's going to be any collision, right now she is focused on building the party, and if there's going to be any collision, that Natasha Gray Brooks would be leader and prime minister. Yes.
So what was the turnout like?
The turnout was good. We had, I would say we had over 300 people in person, and I would say that it was a sea of yellow. It was a blaze of yellow. Yesterday the theme was yellow. We are yellow. And so we had so many people beautifully adorned in their yellow attire. Yes, and our political leader dressed gorgeously in yellow. Of course, she was stunning. She was stunning from head to toe. And so she really, really stood out in the crowd, our political leader, and the message she gave was so heartwarming.
I always find, right?
Yes.
All the parties here, there's this slightly creepy way they describe their political leaders as though they're gods. And I find it very disturbing.
Why do you say that? Tell me.
Because you see, me, I'm not into undue reverence or even due reverence most of the time. So when I hear people, it just always seems like people laid on a little too thick. Oh, my prime minister, it just, I don't know.
Well, it's good to hear your view
I don't
and
know. Just me.
And how it looks.
Don't mind me, that's just, I just think, you're talking about, she's resplendent in yellow and all that stuff. You didn't say that. Those are my words. But yeah, basically,
yes.
So.
But it's all about respect and giving persons.
That has nothing to do with respect to me.
Offices respect.
I feel like y'all really light on, and I'm talking about all the parties, y'all really light on too thick. It's like these people are the second coming of Jesus.
I wouldn't say that, Jamster, but as a political party, there is respect.
Look at how the Labour people behave when it comes to Douglas. You think Douglas is Jesus? And he's like the opposite.
There is certain respect afforded to persons in our party who have achieved certain offices.
I don't consider that respect. You could just say, okay, our political leader. But y'all always smacks of this kind of hero worship. Like I don't know. It's a little creepy for me.
That's your opinion, and that is fine.
Because no one gets that kind of reverence from me.
That is fine. But remember one time we were talking about parties and the like, and you said reverence. And I said, when I looked at the definition of reverence, I said to pay great respect. You understand? So are you saying that no one gets that great respect from you?
Usually not, no.
Okay.
I don't believe in undue respect too. Especially in St. Kitts and Nevis, where I find, listen, we live in a milieu where the only national heroes are politicians, and I have a big problem with that.
Well, it's for us. It's for us to change that. You understand? It's for us to change that.
And that speaks to a kind of maybe short-sightedness of awareness of what makes greatness, or what makes or even what makes humanity.
So what I'm gathering, right, that there is from you, and I could stand corrected, perhaps you have a certain maybe a level of, would disdain be a certain
disdain? No, that's a strong word. That's a strong word. No, not disdain. Just treat them like regular people. My thing is.
Okay, but again, we have to respect persons in certain.
No,
offices.
And that's another thing. I find St. Kitts and Nevis has a warped perception of what defines respect. If I call somebody by their given name, as opposed to an honorific. That's not disrespectful. That's their given name.
If you're in a formal setting, and the formal setting lends itself to referring to individuals in a certain, referring to their designation, and referring to their titles, then you do so. I don't think that.
Yeah, but if you don't, it shouldn't be like a capital. The way you all behave, it's like, oh, let's take him to the square and string him up.
Have you ever introduced someone at a function?
I'll tell you, I never say honorable. Never.
Yeah. But we are going on to so many different topics.
I never say honorable because the ironic thing is, the very time these people become dishonorable is when we elect them. So, and that's just one reason why I never say honorable, because honorable is really a parliamentary thing anyway. And His Excellency, I'm not into all of that. They're just people.
Mm-hmm.
And then I see people like, it's so ridiculous. They're having these speeches and they're introducing the Governor General and they're like, the Governor General, AP, QC, double R, blah, 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 blah. Really? But that is not necessary.
So what I'm gathering from your Jamster, based on our conversation,
we are more British than the British. We are more titleless than the British. We seem to revel in
you
titles.
prefer a society, and if you go to a function, a formal function, you refer that we just refer to anyone as anything, and we don't.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
So
I'm just saying.
What are you proposing?
Take for example, I notice like at speeches and so, I'm like, my thing is, why do I even have to say I adopt the protocol? Can't I just say hi, hello everyone, and start my speech?
There are certain things in certain when you.
I'm sorry,
you have
I'm
to.
not into all that.
So, what are you into? Are you saying that when it comes to protocol, you are saying that you do when it comes to certain protocol in certain
I'm saying
areas,
no one's gonna die. No one's gonna die,
so
or have. Well, maybe some of you will. Maybe
so
you might.
So you're saying
if some of these things are contravened.
So you're saying that throw away protocol when you come to.
I'm not saying throw away protocol, but I say it shouldn't be like it's holy writ. That's all I'm saying.
There's a time and a place for everything, Jamster. There's a time when the social gathering will be informal, and there's a time when there is need for formality.
And why do I get the sense that you're all for it because you want, like, you expect to be elected at some point, and you want people to butter you up with all those honorifics and titles?
That's not true. That's not true. I do not hold any of those titles now.
That's what I'm saying.
I respect those persons who hold the title, and if there's a formal setting, I will address them in the capacity and in the proper manner in which they ought to be addressed.
But do you consider it disrespectful if they don't call you by the title?
I think when it comes to certain setting, there is certain protocol that should be established and should be followed.
You didn't answer my question. That's a very politician answer.
I'm going to
repeat.
Very
politician-esque answer.
I'm going to repeat.
Do you find
again.
it disrespectful? Yes or no?
I think that it can be deemed as disrespectful if you ought to establish certain protocols and those protocols aren't followed. You understand?
So what should happen to the person when they break these protocols? They should go to jail?
I have never said that.
Fined?
I have never I have never said that, and I have never even hinted that such should be the penalty for such.
You are such fertile ground for my devil's advocacy.
Yes,
and you just fall into this.
It's fine. It's fine. We all will have difference of opinions, and that is fine. That is fine. And so I'm here to tell you, there are certain protocols that should be established and kept. We have a caller.
We have a call. Caller, go right ahead. Okay.
Oh, we missed that one.
No, they'll come. They'll call back. We had a few calls. Okay, here we go. Caller, go right ahead. It's 8:21.
Good morning to everybody. Greetings in Jesus' name.
Good morning, Gregory.
Good morning. Trevor, good morning to you. Give you a big special hail up. I might irritate your bones right now, but you know it is.
But he does that to many persons, Gregory. He does that to many persons. So, go away.
I irritate a lot of persons? That's what they tell you? Co-parter.
But this name thing, okay? This calling out a special naming in name, a protocol. not have a problem with it in certain contexts. But where it really gets to me, and where it really gets under my skin and really creep me out and make me very angry, is when it is done in church services. Because at the cross, all of us are equal. And
Gregory, I actually agree with you. This whole thing about them sitting up in the front of the church, they should sit anywhere. There should be no seat. Yes, Gregory. I never thought I'd be agreeing with you. Thank you.
Well.
So Gregory, you see, you
it might be mutual.
found a counterpart this morning in ideology, at least on a certain aspect.
Yeah. So it really irks me, really make me angry when you have these reserved seats for these politicians and that sort of stuff, and you got to quote unquote follow protocol and all that sort of stuff in the church service. No.
But Gregory, let me ask you a question, and I'm being devil's advocate. Eh? So forgive me in advance. I'm being devil's advocate, and this is no way my want to say my opinion on the matter. Remember, Gregory, if we are going to look back certain centuries ago, the church gave great respect to kings and queens, ordinary people like you and I. So what do you say to that in relation to the great respect?
Wrong. Just as equal, but I think the Covenanters, never used to give those kind of respect, and there are certain groups who never used to give those kind of respect. But like at the main churches, like the mainline churches, like the Anglican churches, Catholics, and Methodists.
In fact, Gregory,
they would do that.
Gregory, isn't, when you look at the Church of England, isn't the king the head of the Church of England?
King or queen, whichever you have at the time.
Yes.
Yeah. Those churches would do that. And once ago in history.
So what say you? What say you in that? What say you in relation to that? Because you.
I just say it's all wrong.
Okay.
It's wrong today, and it's still wrong back then. It was wrong back then, and it's still wrong today, because the cross, at the foot of the cross, all of us are equal sinners. All of us are sinners, evil, wicked sinners before God, equal before God. There is no king or queen, Jew or Gentile, rich or poor, when it comes to the foot of the cross. We are all equal. But what also makes me even more angrier is that, for example, you wouldn't take a prostitute or drug dealer or somebody who just said they're into Christian living or ungodly. You wouldn't take them and put them up on the pulpit to say anything, to give a speech or anything like that. You wouldn't do that to such a person. Yet, these politicians were living all kind of ungodly life because they're politicians. They put them up on the pulpit to say speeches and give talks and that sort of stuff. No, what go for one, go for all. If you ain't going to do it to certain sinners, then don't do it for none. And you shouldn't do it for any. Because only some people are supposed to be addressing the church, and that is godly Christian people who are living up to the word. That is what the Bible teaches. Those are who's supposed to be addressing the church, not putting up politicians, no matter how ungodly they are.
Okay, so what about the great respect that?
In the church.
What about the great? Even in the church, Gregory, would you say that we're looking at the church context, and Jamsa, we're looking at the church because you and Gregory share this view, and as you share your views, there's certain sparks in my mind. They just start to spark. You understand? There's great. I want to use Jamsa's favorite word, reverence, right? There is great reverence attributed to offices in the very church. When we look at the bishop, the deacon, when we look at the pope, those persons have certain offices in the church, and they are given great respect, are they not?
Yes, they are given great respect. They are given
so
great respect.
are you but as you say, we all are sinners, and of course I am not saying otherwise or suggesting otherwise. But even in the church, in that context, Jamsa, there are persons, and they're not politicians. So we're not even looking at the politicians now. So take that out of the equation. Even in the church, there are officers.
Let me answer the question. Let me answer the question. No, really and truly, there are only 2 offices in the church according to the Bible. The others are man-made. Those 2 biblical offices are elders and deacons.
Okay,
Those
elders
are
and
really only
deacons.
2 biblical
And
offices in the
elders
church.
and deacons be treated in the church with
yes,
respect?
They are. But what I'm going to say is this. What I'm going to say, that too is against the Bible, the treatment. No, the offices are scriptural, elders and
Okay,
deacons.
Gregory, we want to take some more calls, so wrap it up.
Yeah, right. So the treatment of them with this extra special treatment is also wrong and simple because what the Bible said. Paul said, it ain't me, Apollo saying, don't put us above anybody else. Put Jesus Christ. And what Jesus Christ said, before you are servants. You are not to lord it over the congregation, but these offices are really making you servants of the people, not people to be specially lauded.
Thank you.
Yes, so we also got to the wrong extreme where those are concerned in treating them as special people when they're just mere servants.
Thank you. And a corollary to that is this culture we have here where, we pedestalize politicians. Politicians work for us. We're the ones that should be lauding it over them. Nobody should be lauding it over anybody. But you take my point, right?
But yes, I believe
they
that
work for us, and I don't think it can be said enough because people don't seem to understand. People seem to get
servants of the people in the sect that they are there to ensure that the people's business is done. But in the same regard, that doesn't mean that respect shouldn't be afforded. And I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about just politicians. Office
but remember, respect and what we're speaking about are not mutually exclusive. So you shouldn't even be saying that. No one is saying they shouldn't be respected.
I'm saying different offices. You could be a director, a chairman at the bank. If you're having a function when it comes to the bank, a formal function, you pay the respect to the chairman of the bank in the way a chairman ought to be given respect. We have a call?
Call, go right ahead.
Yeah, good morning to you guys.
Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up?
Yeah, Johnson, man, I want to agree with you today, man. And the Jesus guy. I guess you guys may be a little bit on Azard today, but Johnson, I just want to agree with you, man. We can't be putting these politicians up on a pedestal so high that, you know what I mean?
No, let me rephrase that because you're saying. Let me interject there. You're saying that you're agreeing with Jamsa, so you're suggesting that I am opposed.
That's not what he said.
No. If he said he agreed with you that we can't have politicians on these pedestals, it suggests indirectly that I am saying that we should have politicians on pedestals, and I'm not saying that. I'm saying office.
Listen to my secondary statement. You cut me off.
Okay, go ahead. I just want to clarify that.
Yeah, okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a back step, and I'm going to say I partially agree with him. And the reason why is my personal opinion to that is we cannot put these politicians up as if they can't do no wrong, because I see that happening right now. And you're something a lawyer, I'm going to ask you, man, they have a press release that was released by MSR Media Thursday the 23rd of May. I want you to read that press release, man.
Okay.
As a
Also,
lawyer, I want you to read that.
That's fine, Burl.
As a lawyer, I want you to read that press release, all right?
Yeah, Burl, let me say this because I want to make it clear. I'm not saying to put politicians on any pedestal and put them to say that they are perfect. I'm not saying that. What I have been saying and what I've said today is that certain offices, regardless, it could be politics, it could be in the bank, it could be in your own professional life, it could be whatever atmosphere or context, you understand? If there's certain office holders, and I'm not going strictly to the area of politics. If you have a formal setting, and there's certain persons holding positions in that formal setting, you give the necessary formalities awarded. It's just how it is. Protocol, a matter of protocol. And I'm not talking about politicians because it seems that persons only pinpoint politicians. I'm talking about in all contexts.
Okay, Burl, we got to leave it there. We have traffic talk coming up next.
To your opinion. Yeah. I'm just putting forward my simple input.
Okay, Burl. Burl, we got to go.
And we can't put the politicians up where they can't do no wrong.
Of course, and I agree. I am not saying in the slightest that we should make politicians gods.
Okay, we really got to go to traffic talk. It's brought to you by Caribbean Alliance Insurance. We have Officer Donnelly is here, and she's ready to go.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
Be careful on the road. Don't make it an episode. Attention all drivers. I'm begging you to slow it down.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Delisle Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
Be careful on the road. Don't make it an episode. Attention all drivers.
Attention all drivers. Donnelly is on deck. It's time for Traffic Talk, brought to you by Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Morning, Donnelly. Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I am fine, thank you. Thanks for asking. How was your weekend?
It was wonderful. I had a wonderful Sunday.
Awesome. So did I.
So I know you like to start off with prayer.
And that's
so I'm
correct.
ready for it. Okay, Donnelly, I'm ready for it.
Let us pray.
Yes.
Most gracious and eternal Heavenly Father, we come before your throne this morning again, God. Just giving thanks. Thanking you, dear God, for another day, another opportunity at life. We bring before you, dear God, our friends, our families. We bring the whole nation before you, seeking guidance and protection to us all as we go to this day. Please, mercy, we ask in your name and no other name. Amen.
Amen.
Good morning again to those persons out there in Radio Land. We're always happy to have you in our midst. Our program, as I would always say, is not the same without you. And so this morning, I would have promised the general public that I would have brought in someone from the Public Works Department. I would have spoken to Mr. Gilbert. He should have been here. I guess he's probably on his way, so we can do something until he gets here. And so in the meantime, I think that we can speak to what happened at the scene of a traffic accident. And so, first and foremost, let me inform the general public that whenever there is a traffic accident, it doesn't matter the nature of the accident. All accident must be reported. It doesn't matter how small or how large. As long as there is a traffic accident, it must be reported. It doesn't matter who you know in the accident, whether it is mom collided to dad in different vehicles, sister collided to best friend. As long as an accident, I just want to put it out there because some persons have a tendency not to report accidents, and then at the end of the day, 24 hours has passed and persons calling and say, oh, well, I had an accident last week and now the person is giving me problems in getting my vehicle fixed. And so I just want to put it out there.
And that's important because especially in my practice of law, oftentimes I tell persons if there's an accident, You make sure that you don't leave that scene. You report it to the police because that is used as evidence if you're coming to court.
That's correct.
You understand? And a lot of times persons say, oh, it's just a small damage. They're walking away. They say the person gonna pay them. Weeks come, no payment. Calling the person's phone, they ain't answering. All of a sudden, what was the person's reaction then becomes a different reactions after.
And that is very correct. And so the police officer comes on the scene, he or she, whomever the officer is, and they said, good morning, I'm Officer James Brown. I'm the investigating officer. Who are the parties involved? The persons who are there on the scene would say, I am involved and this person involved. The officer asks, do we need the service of the ambulance? Someone might say, well, I just have a backache and I can deal with that after. Sometimes we get to a scene and persons are not on the scene because they've already been transported to the hospital. Now, when you're speaking to an officer at an accident scene, there should be no phone conversation with anyone else, meaning the officer is taking a report from you as to the cause of the accident and you're on the phone talking to your friend, telling your friend what would have transpired. And so the officer, you're not engaging yourself in the conversation with the officer because your mind here having your own conversation. And so whenever an officer, an investigator, as we call ourselves, gets to the scene of an accident, both parties are supposed to stand together, hearing what the officer is saying to each other. For example, if myself and my good host here, Mr. Azard, gets into an accident, when the officer gets on the scene, whatever we are doing has to come to a stop because the officer is now on the scene, and so we're to inform the officer what would have taken place because the officer was not on the scene. And so the officer would take whomever want to go first or whomever in his mind he want to speak to first of the accident. Both parties are going to get a chance to speak because the officer needs an explanation from each person. And so the officer starts to write in his book. He started with his preambles. A traffic accident would have occurred on Ponds Pasture, the time when it happens, involving PA10 and PA1. Get the name of the person who was driving PA10, the name of the person who was driving PA1. And so he takes that information. At the end of that preamble, he goes to the one of the individual, whether myself or Mr. Azard, and he asks for an explanation of what would have happened. Mr. Azard gives his explanation. The officer is supposed to read over the information to you, so just in case you want to add something, take out something, that can happen. All this time, I am listening to what the officer is saying to you because in the event that the matter has to go to court and the magistrate is to ask the question, did you hear when the officer spoke to Mr. Azard about so-and-so? And you must be able to say, yes, Your Honor, or no, Your Honor, and vice versa. Sometimes these things won't happen because you would have persons, the officer is speaking to you, and I'm over here on my phone, I'm trying to take a picture here, and I'm not looking and making sure that the information given to you is what would have transpired. And then if that doesn't happen, when the report comes out, somebody is claiming and saying, no, I didn't say that, and no, I didn't do that, and so it is best for us to be in the proximity of hearing distance so you can hear and see what is going on. Now the officer takes the other party's information, so both explanations are taken. Then the officer asks for you, the person who got involved in the accident, to point out the damages. You might say, oh, the front of my vehicle extensively damaged. Every single part of that vehicle that was damaged must be outlined. Extensively damaged is not acceptable, and the officer should not accept that either. Front headlamps, broken. Front grille, broken. Front number plate, broken. Windscreen, broken. Whatever it is, it must be outlined. So when that accident report comes out, all of the information, because when somebody takes an accident report to a lawyer, they must have all the information as if they were on the scene.
Correct, and that is very helpful because, in addition, I would say to clients, you have to get an estimate of the damage. If we are going to court, you have to get an estimate of the damage, and so you have the vehicle, and there are some persons, the vehicle might have been damaged before. There's an accident, and because of lack of proper recording, the person dishonestly includes or suggests when going to court that the previous damage was part of the current. You understand?
And that's true.
Yes.
Right. So you make sure that all the information that the officer needs, you make sure that all the information is collected there about the vehicle. Even if it's a little scratch, it might seem like nothing to you then at the time. But like you said, estimate would bring out something different. The officer is not obligated to say to anyone at the scene of an accident, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong.
Yes.
The officer has to make or has to do his investigations. Because sometimes things don't always look as it appears. It's not always like that. And so investigations must be done. An officer takes measurements.
Yes.
If for some reason it's a one vehicle accident, let's say, for example, you ran into a tree or you ran into a wall, that officer should at least take the length and width of the vehicle and also the width of the road. These things are important. You, as the person who have gotten into the accident, recognize that the officer is not taking any measurement. You can ask a question. Officer, I recognize you didn't take any measurements. Is there a reason why you didn't take any measurements? And so you can have that conversation. Just make sure that you're respectful in your asking. Whenever a traffic accident occurs, you are to stay on the scene of the accident. Some persons, in a hurry, I got to go. I have to go, I late for a meeting, or I have to take my daughter to school. Can I come back? You cannot leave the scene of an accident once an accident occurs. Taking pictures at the scene of an accident, you can take your own pictures for your own records. But the officer takes the pictures that are going to be needed for the court case if in the event that accident has to be taken to the court. Now, even though all accidents are to be reported, all accident doesn't necessarily have to be taken to the magistrate court. Some accidents are just fender benders and so can be easily worked out. The officer, however, or the investigator, however, is not to put himself or herself in the midst of that communication between both parties about whether or not who is going to pay and who is not going to pay. Because for every accident there are two sides. There is a criminal side, which is the police side of the accident, and there is a civil side. So if both of you want to make up a case, that's fine. But that has nothing to do with the officer, and that has nothing to do with the criminal side of the accident, because remember, an offense was committed.
What if someone says that you could have a slight fender bender and someone decides, okay, someone and you say, okay, let's not get the police involved because some people feel as though the police will just make things more complicated than they need to be. What would your response to that be?
I would say it again, Mr. Jamster. It doesn't matter who is involved in the accident. Every accident must be reported to the police. Because in the end, you're trying to get a traffic accident report. Nothing was reported to the police because you and James Brown would have already decided that who is going to fix whose vehicle. And when James Brown take his vehicle to his mechanic to get an estimate, when you bring that estimate to me, I am appalled. And I'm saying, well, it was only a little bend, so how come I have to pay you $1,500 for that? I cannot afford $1,500. And so it becomes a problem. And now you want to include the police.
So if the police are included at the outset, how would the police assist in getting the situation fixed?
Jamster, in some cases, I must be honest with you, because some cases are just very minor, and some persons are very genuine and very honest, they would fix somebody's vehicle, and they would come to the department and they would say, or they would bring a letter and say, officer, I had a small accident on the 10th of May, 2024, and the gentleman would have fixed my vehicle. I have the receipt here with me, and so I need no police further action. The officer now recognizing, he goes back into his report and recognizes it was a small accident, and so there was nothing much to it, and so he can accept. It is not something that we practice. But because it's a small, and the court already is overwhelmed with all these traffic accidents and so on, and so little fender benders and so on, these things can be disposed of without going to the court. We do not take it upon ourselves as the person who would have gotten to the accident to just decide, oh, I don't want my matter to go to court. We have to bear in mind that some persons deliberately get into accidents for whatever reasons, maybe insurance reasons, maybe insurance purposes. And so when it comes to accident, especially when persons get injured, even though somebody might say, okay, well, I am going to fix your vehicle. And they might fix your vehicle, but somebody else in the vehicle was injured. And bearing in mind, Mr. Jamster, that you can give the full, for want of a better word, payment, or the full appreciation of someone when they get into an accident right away. Meaning, if I get into an accident today, I might not feel that I would have gotten a whiplash. And for some reason, I think it was, you just wish that whiplash is going to go away. And so somebody offer you $5,000 and you take it. 2 years down the road, the pain comes back in your neck. You go to the doctor say you have to do surgery, costs you $10,000. Sorry. And you feel in your mind that the $5,000 that you would have gotten before would have covered all the payments and hospitals and whatever doctor bills and so on. And you recognize it doesn't cover it because the money was not enough. So we cannot make you as an individual who gets into an accident, you do not take payment from an individual or that person whom you would have gotten into the accident with on the spot. Because you do not know what is going to happen down the road. It might cost you more than what you're expecting, what you're taking from the person at the present moment. Also, please to make sure and take note that whenever a police officer comes to deal with an accident, the investigator, please to make sure that if there are measurements that you feel in your mind that the officer did not take, you can ask a question. Officer, I recognize you did not take a measurement from the width of the road to where the accident would have, where the vehicle would have stopped. And I recognize that the vehicle would have driven to 196 feet from, and you did not take that. You can ask a question. We just have to be respectful in our asking, because it helps you as the individual who takes the information to your lawyer, as opposed to You're not asking the questions on the accident scene, not making sure that all the information is given on the accident scene. And then you come to traffic and you call and you say, you come for an accident report, and you say, officer, they didn't put in this. I said this, I would have outlined this to the officer. It is not here. And that is the reason why both parties are and should be and must be in the hearing of each person. Also make sure that the officer reads over that report, so that explanation that you would have given on the scene, you must make sure that it is what you are saying at the time.
And what you intended.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Also make sure that you ask the officer whatever it is that you need to ask. The officer is not responsible for any quotes from a mechanic. That is not, or any estimate. That is not the officer's job.
Okay, it's 8:53. It's Traffic Talk brought to you by Caribbean Alliance. Azard had to take off for court. Caller, go right ahead.
Good morning, Gangster. Good morning.
Hey, what's up?
I'm Kortensia. What happened to her?
She's not here today, but do you have a question?
Yeah, I have a question. The police officer here. When is it when people tend to get in accident all of a sudden? I see it a lot of young people. They just drive away. And the police, the traffic department need to be a little verbose on that, because they cannot get these things happening. That thing will happen up the bay road, but the traffic thing knocked down a man. Even though he was drunk, that guy had to stay there. Something definitely wrong. Officer, we see that around Basket very often, and it never used to happen before. And you are going to do something better than that. And next thing I want to talk about last night, it looked like the lighting them down there by the nearest bank. Oh, and you find chauffeurs just coming down and waiting for the right of way to drive, and just driving. And these things need on cameras, These things need cameras. You all just step up this thing. Otherwise, somebody gone dead. Somebody, them 5 foot, but somebody gone dead. My friend Azard, congratulations. And I want to come back and talk with you another time. Have a good morning.
Okay. To his point, though, I noticed a camera was put up on Wellington Road. I imagine at some point y'all will probably roll out cameras elsewhere because, for example, I imagine if a camera was down there, that would have made your guys' job a lot easier in maybe finding out who the hit-and-run driver was.
Yes, we're working on the cameras. I would have said that in a previous program, that they will roll out cameras, and that is a project that we are presently working on. So they will. I cannot say for sure that they're going to be out by the end of the year, but they are definitely working on rolling out those cameras on the post.
I imagine that one on Wellington Road was a matter of priority because I imagine you guys have to prioritize.
Well, I cannot speak to whether it's a priority. I can safely say that cameras will be rolled out.
Okay. I think we have that caller. If you can call the WINNFM phone, that would be great. Call the WINNFM phone. Okay, once again, yeah. Okay, so yeah, go ahead.
Yes,
go ahead.
To continue our talk about the accident. Accident reports are given at the traffic department. It doesn't matter where the accident was caused or where the accident happened. All accident reports are given at the traffic department. If a traffic accident happens in District A or District B, you get the accident report at the St. Johnson Police Station.
Traffic Talk. Caller, go right ahead.
Hi, good morning.
Hi.
Officer, first and foremost, thank you for bringing that to the attention of the public. I think a lot of us actually take the route of just getting, the other party's information and saying we're going to deal with it, not taking into the consideration, not taking into consideration or even knowing the ramifications of that. So thank you for that.
You're welcome,
The other
Carl.
point, though, that I would like to more so ask is, why is it that it doesn't seem to be a situation where police officers wear the high visibility vest when conducting road works, whether it be traffic stops or even addressing a matter of an accident? And I bring it up because I remember when they had the festival there in Chaos and officers were directing traffic standing in the road. The concern is the uniform of the police is black and gray, and especially at night, those officers are not going to be visible. And then even on Saturday evening, was it? Yes. An accident on the Frigate Bay Road, and none of the officers had on a high visibility vest, and they're standing in the road directing traffic, etc., etc. Isn't this standard issue? And in terms of the fact that we are supposed to be practicing OSHA here in St. Kitts, doesn't the police department do these talks with the officers as to why these things are important and ensure that they themselves have these implements to make sure that they are safe while conducting their business too?
Thank you very much for that caller. And to note, thank you very much for that call, caller. And to note that we are well informed. We are well informed as to our attire when out on duty. However, like everything else, sometimes we err, sometimes we fail, and so even for you as an individual, because there are no babies in the police force, and so you as an adult must know the consequences of what could happen if you're not wearing a vest, especially at evenings. And so we need to pay more attention as officers as to our dress code, especially at evenings. Whenever I am working in the evening, there's always a light in my hand and a vest over it is covered my uniform. And so the reality is, Mr. Jamster, we don't say that to the officers every time they're going out. We don't make it a mandatory to say, when this shift falls in, to say, put on your vest.
Shouldn't it be, though? I mean, is it a basic part of the training? And I feel like, and it's funny, that caller has a very, 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 very good point.
Yes, it is. But I have been in the organization for 3 decades. I've been there for 36 years, and I've never seen it anywhere that it's standardized that we wear traffic vests. We are given a vest. You're not given a vest as part of your uniform when you do your initial training, or when you go to the stores and they give you the uniforms, they attach a vest to it. Vests, those utility vests, they are bought, and you go to the stores and you collect a vest, or in some cases persons buy their own personal vest just for their own safety. So it is not a hard and fast standard rule that we put on a vest on our uniforms. I stand to be corrected, Mr. Jamster.
Okay. But I really think that that's something that should be standard. In fact, you should have police on the vest as well.
Well, we do have police on our vests, yes. Yeah. In some cases.
Let's squeeze in one more call. It's 1 minute after, but caller, go right ahead.
Hi, yes, me again.
Last call, yeah.
I hear the point about it not necessarily being part of the regulations of the force. But as I mentioned, I think it subscribes to certain conventions, and OSHA is one of them. And there is strict rules as it pertains to persons doing work on the road. Take, for example, more and more you're seeing construction workers wearing high visibility vests, and that's during the day. There's a very strong reason for that. Now, again, if there are certain issues as it relates to rules in the force and why persons aren't doing. That's one thing. But I think at the same point in time, it speaks strongly to the lack of proper knowledge and the poor culture that we have here as it relates to safety in general. And we really need to practice what we preach and ensure that everything that we do, first and foremost, does take a safety perspective before we go out and conduct any of the affairs. Because, you know, we're talking about legal issues and so forth. And one of the things that OSHA speaks to, if an officer gets bounced down and they don't have on a high visibility vest, can't it be argued in the courts that the driver who bounced them down couldn't see them because of the fact that they didn't have on that vest? And there are lots of other issues that could come arise as a result of the absence of these safety implements. So it's not in any shape or form this discussion to bash, but it's something that I keep saying, and I think it's an easy fix. And it's a concern to see that someone could get, you know, seriously injured for just lack of that one basic, easy fix. So I do hope that the top brass is listening and paying attention and does something to address that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, caller, and we note your concern for the officers, and so, like you said, I hope that the persons who are in charge of me are listening, and so that we can make whatever necessary adjustments that needs to be made. I want to thank the general public for listening and tuning into our program this morning. The information that I brought this morning still has more to it, and so we can continue it at another time. But in the meantime, the information given, please take note. If there are anything that is pressing to you that you need to find out, you need to know, you can call 465-2241 and ask them to put you on to the traffic department. Thank you very much. Have yourself a great week.
I see you next week, Donnelly. And that's going to do it for Traffic Talk for today. It's 4 minutes after 9 o'clock. Traffic Talk brought to you by Caribbean Alliance Insurance.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Dalil Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
It's track and field time again! In honor of President Alfonso Bridgewater and Mr. Lester Blackett, SKN Athletics presents National Championships and Olympic Trials. Sunday, June 16th at the Nevis Athletic Stadium, starting at 10 a.m. Come see athletes vie to become national champions and to get a spot to represent St. Kitts Nevis at the Paris Olympic Games. Nadal Putin, Jason Rogers, Nikhil Harris, Tiana Liebert, Zaria Alice-Liebert, Shamari Newton, and the new national record holder in the 400 hurdles, Sharem Hamilton, and much more. This will be athletics at its best. Admission only $10. Sponsored by Carambola, First Federal Credit Union, National Bank Group of Companies, St. Kitts Nevis Olympic Committee, Dasani, and Powerade. So track and field fans, remember, Sunday, 16 June from 10 a.m., the Nevis Athletic Stadium is the place to be for the National Championships and Olympic Trials.
Chip, 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 we wanna get Smarty the perfect smart start for their future with CHIP, the child investment plan from TVC Financial Services. Invest in your child's next step, and we know what's next is always changing.
CHIP, CHIP, CHIP. We want to get CHIP, CHIP, CHIP.
CHIP is a long-term plan with no minimum deposit, no monthly commitment, and you're guaranteed a special high interest rate per annum.
I want CHIP. I want CHIP too.
Visit TDC Financial Services today and get CHIP, the child investment plan, providing the best head start for every child.
CHIP, CHIP, CHIP. We want to get CHIP, CHIP, CHIP.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib. It's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Everybody beware, you better prepare. Disaster can happen anytime, anywhere. Everybody beware, you better prepare. Disaster can happen anytime, anywhere.
Comprehensive disaster management is about every one of us being ready to manage any natural or man-made event like hurricanes, earthquakes, tsunamis, fires, oil spills, or volcanoes. It's about having your home or business prepared with an emergency plan as applied. It's prevention. Keeping your home, business, or community well maintained and safe. It's about being able to get your life back on track after the event. Will you be ready? Visit NEMA.kn or log on to NEMA SKN on Facebook.
Everybody beware, you better prepare. Disaster can happen anytime, anywhere. Everybody beware.
10 minutes after 9 o'clock. As Alan T continues, I'm on my own. AZ had to take off for court, and we'll be without Kortensia for the rest of the week. So, I'm thinking if you guys want to call me on any issue, any issue in your news that you want to talk about, feel free to give me a call. But in the meantime, I think, okay, I was about to read you guys a heat advisory, but let's go to the phone lines. Alan T, you're on the air.
Hi, Dempster.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, good. About the discussion you was having earlier this morning concerning the protocols and those things.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we overdo it, to be quite honest.
Absolutely.
It has its place, absolutely. It is, for instance, a convention, if you want to call it that, or practice of many countries around the world. There are many fora that, our politicians will would be in, and it's expected that a certain standard is maintained. And so it's all well and good there. But I think we overdo it in terms of, as was mentioned, the church-going thing, for instance. I think it was the ex-Prime Minister, Harris, who perfected the practice of essentially campaigning in church, right? And I always wondered why the congregations and pastors allowed it, all right? For politicians to be speaking at their sacred rostrum, sacred pulpit. It just didn't seem.
So I'm not
kind of out of place.
I'm not the only one. Huh? Okay. Yeah,
No,
I feel. Yeah, I feel. Yes, I absolutely agree with you. That's one of the things that always
really,
bugged me.
It's distasteful at the very least.
And then,
Okay.
and this whole pretense of being all of a sudden church going because you're elected. I mean, I don't really go to church, and if I was elected, it wouldn't change. I'm sorry. If you
Yeah, but it's all part of the the charade of
But this is what makes it.
Get into a particular audience in the first place.
Yeah.
You have a captive audience there who have to sit down with their hands in their lap and listen. You can't be. It would be disrespectful if you heckled. If you said something that they didn't like. You know you're not going to be heckled.
But
be left with polite silence. You might be met with polite silence. But so it was a good venue for them, and the politicians, being who they are, would use it.
But it always bugged me as well. I mean, we kind of alluded to it. This whole thing where the seats up front this is the house of God. All that hierarchical stuff should not apply.
Right.
That always, even as a kid, I was like, because when I was coming up, I was inculcated. I mean, I used to go to Sunday school, and I used to read, I used to read a lot for my age, I think. Probably more so than more people. And they used to give me religious books to read, actually, and children's religious books. And I remember reading about that kind of stuff and realizing that all of this stuff, and so it always bothered me when I go to church and I see, I said, why is the Governor General sitting up front? I mean, he should sit anywhere. He should sit anywhere.
You can consider them perks in the sense that, they're supposed to make them stand out from among us.
No, I don't agree.
For
especially in the house of God.
Even there. So most politicians have an oversized ego anyway.
Yes.
And so they would love that sort of thing, if you notice. I mean, they thrive on that's why they thrive so much on the media, whatever type of media it is.
They thrive on.
It's just them.
They thrive on aggrandizement.
Are very comfortable with that.
Be it self or otherwise, yes.
It's very rare you'll find a politician who's not into that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay? The other thing, though, is that I think a lot of it came from the autocracy, the tendency to like autocratic leaders, right? I've always admired the American corporate culture.
Go ahead.
Basis. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead. Wait, okay.
Yeah, you can be on the first name with the C guy at the top. But yet, it is very clear that there's an hierarchy there and that you have to respect that person. You have to essentially follow directives and so on, even without using the title, even on a first names basis. I always found that, here down here we are accustomed to Mr. You call it.
Oh God, it's so suffocating to me. God.
Right. But I admire being able to do that, to exercise their influence and power without the titles and so on.
Hold on, Mac.
I found that
hang on, Mac. Let the other person join. Join caller. Go ahead.
Yes. Good morning.
Hey.
I'm listening to your conversation, and for me, the only thing I disapprove of, I don't agree with any politician being up on God's holy rostrum. They want to sit up front, put them up front. The thing is, the pastors miss the opportunity every time to witness to these people, to admonish them to give their lives to Christ, because no matter the title, position, the whole, If they're not living for God, they're going to split hell open. And that's what the pastor should be focusing on that day, trying to save their soul, not the pomp and circumstance and all that. And yes, respect is due to people, regardless of who they are, because the word of God admonishes us to give honor to whom honor is due. My problem with them is when you see they put them upon the rostrum, no politician belong upon God's holy pulpit. That's a secret place. That's where me and them have a big issue. But put them up front. I don't mind you putting them up front to sit down. Sit them down there and preachers use that opportunity to give them, thus said the Lord, what God said they must do in order to save their soul from going to hell. That is what the preachers need to do for that day when they have them in church, instead of all this hoop and holler and carrying on. Preach to them repentance unto the Lord. That's what they need to do. Have a good day.
Okay, clear.
As Johnson, there's a security aspect to it, which we have to be mindful of, right? Because, of course, people in prominent positions can become targets. And so I can understand them being given special privileges for at certain events and so on, and for security purposes. Okay, but it's always interesting how every 5 years they would climb down off of that and be like an ordinary person. I'm always amused at it. And then, of course, after the election and so on, it's back to the tinted,
but interestingly,
tinted SUVs, windows rolled up, changing phone numbers, can't be reached, those kinds of things.
Interestingly, before AZ left, right, I was telling him, he mentioned, he was saying before he left, he came over by me before he left. He said, well, when you go to the court, you have to say. I said, yeah, that's fine. I said, but also, I've always had a problem with. This is what I was telling him, but telling you now, I've always had a problem with the fact that, in some ways, the courthouse is more sacrosanct than the church, in the sense that, take for example, I bridle at this thing that you have to have your shirt in your pants when you go to the court. I mean, who do these people think they are? God says, come as you are in a church, and you're telling me I can't go in a courthouse unless my shirt is in my pants? That's ridiculous. Who do they think? Who do these judges think they are?
Again, though, you need some kind of standard.
No. I don't agree. This is a modern world.
What would you put as a standard, though?
No, what I'm saying.
Because certainly you can't allow somebody to go in there. Or for instance, suppose somebody go in there just deliberately with the deliberate intention to be provocative.
No, I mean, you see, my thing is, I just bristle at man taking on this kind of self-importance, this kind of outsized self-importance where they think that they're more important than the Creator, and that the courthouse is somehow more sacrosanct than a church. I have a big problem with that. Oh, I have to have my shirt in my pants? Really? I know a lot of them are going to be mad at me, but I don't care.
Well, okay, can't you just look at it as just like
no, what I'm saying, but listen, this is the 21st century. You cannot tell me that being dressed, let's say formally, or being dressed respectfully, is only defined by my shirt being in my pants. Really? What happened to the coming up, those teachers used to wear these jack shirts. There are a lot of shirts that are formal, that they hang over the pants.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. And when you get down to it, it's really a matter of taste and how you dress, right? Really and truly, if you're neat, clean, properly covered, I don't see.
Which is why I like the way the Americans do. I think the Americans are practical almost to a fault. Well, it's not even a fault really. It's a virtue as far as I'm concerned, in the sense that you're going to court to work through some case. Your shirt in your pants or not in your pants, that doesn't hinder that process. And this is one of the problems we have being more British than the British. The British don't even behave like that anymore. It's like we want to freeze all these outdated outdated processes and traditions in amber and expect to be.
You can't tell the powers that be that, well, you're being neo-colonialist when you do that. They would come up with some kind of excuse why it should be done, order must be maintained, the place should be disciplined, those kinds of things.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, but it was an interesting discussion this morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I have another guest coming up. Yeah, great. Cool. So I'm going to go get to that. Okay, folks, we have a guest coming up. Just give me a sec.
It's track and field time again! In honor of President Alfonso Bridgewater and Mr. Lester Blackett, SKN Athletics presents National Championships and Olympic Trials. Sunday, June 16th at the Nevis Athletic Stadium, starting at 10 a.m. Gumbs athletes vie to become national champions and to get a spot to represent St. Kitts Nevis at the Paris Olympic Games. Nadal Putin, Jason Rogers, Nikhil Harris, Tiana Liebert, Zaria Alice Liebert, Shamari Newton, and the new national record holder in the 400 hurdles, Sharem Hamilton, and much more. This will be athletics at its best. Admission only $10. Sponsored by Carambola, First Federal Credit Union, National Bank Group of Companies, St. Kitts Nevis Olympic Committee, Dasani, and Powerade. So track and field fans, remember, Sunday, 16 June from 10 a.m., the Nevis Athletic Stadium is the place to be for the National Championships and Olympic Trials.
If you think the TDC 10 sale at Home and Building was massive, then we have another one for you. TDC Automotive Division in St. Kitts is having a massive spare parts sale. This and every Friday until June 28, 2024. Not 50 or 60 or 70, but up to 85% off genuine spare parts. You heard me right. We got shocks, bearings, brakes, pads, belts, spark plugs, hoses, rods, horns, headlamps, mirrors, bulbs, and much more. Everything must go. Sorry. I'm so tired. This and every Friday until June 28th, 2024. Go to TDC Automotive Division at the C.A. Paul Southwood Industrial Site in St. Kitts for this massive spare parts sale. Terms and conditions apply. See store for details. Remember, at TDC, together we succeed.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Okay, I've got Alejandro Bojas from Four Seasons, and he's here to promote their brand new restaurant. It's called On the Dune. So he's gonna be bigging up that really cool eating establishment. He's on the phone, so as soon as he gets off, we're gonna get into this. And like I was saying, it's 9:27. We've got Alejandro Bojas from the Four Seasons. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you today?
Okay, I'm doing good. You were telling me about this cool restaurant called on the Dune.
Yes.
What's the theme on the Dune? So that's like talking about sand dunes. So is it seafood?
Yes, we actually promoting a restaurant, local cuisine made of local seafood and local produce. We take a lot of ingredients from local producers and local fishermen too. So it's a great place to come and try, whatever our ocean and our land has to give to us.
So it's on the beach adjacent to Four Seasons or part of Four Seasons.
It's part of Four Seasons.
Yes.
It's one of the main restaurants of the resort, and on the dune is right by the ocean. So it has a really, really good atmosphere. Very calm. We have the Caribbean Sea in front of us, so it's just a great place to be for sure.
Tell me a little bit about. I'm assuming there's some fusion going on. So tell us a little bit. Let's get a little deeper into what's going on. You talked about local seafood and so on.
Yes. So it definitely has a little bit of Caribbean fusion and also a little American Caribbean fusion, right? For since we cater so many types of guests from so many countries, the star dishes of our restaurant for sure are local seafood, right? We have lobster, catch of the day, snapper, wahoo, mahi. So we focus on that mainly.
Okay.
But then we have a kids menu also. We have burgers too. It depends on what the guest wants.
How long has this restaurant been open?
This restaurant has been over 10 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you just okay. So, well, you see, the good thing about doing this is that it's gonna be like all fresh again, because I didn't know that there was a restaurant at Four Seasons called On the Dune. So
yes.
And I'm sure there are a lot of people listening who never knew
and
this.
it's so short, right? You can take a little ferry and come over and visit.
Now, you told me you're Venezuelan. Are
Yes.
you going to be incorporating any of your Venezuelan cuisine, Venezuelan seafood type cuisine, or any cuisine period from Venezuela into the
menu? It will be incredible. But right now I'm in part of the management part of the restaurant, so we have menu planning in around September, so probably we'll incorporate some ideas to it. Let's see how
tell me a little bit about how one can go about making reservations and so on, and phone numbers, maybe if you have social media.
So of course we're promoting the Father's Day brunch. That is going to be an amazing brunch.
Father's Day brunch.
Yes, I think it's the perfect moment to give a special present to the fathers, right?
Absolutely.
We recently had the Mother's Day brunch. It was quite amazing.
Oh, you had a Mother's Day brunch as well.
Yes, and it was incredible.
That went well, yeah.
Almost 200 families came. Like, it was beautiful. Yeah. It was amazing. People came from all over, from St. Kitts, from Nevis.
So let me ask a question, though, about your rates. The prices, do you have one set of prices, or do you have separate prices for your let's say your overseas guests versus the locals?
Yes, well, our promoting right now, it's for local guests, and it's $85 per person, and it's an all-inclusive lunch.
And that's for the Father's Day brunch.
Yes, the Father's Day brunch.
Okay.
And for every child, it's $35. So it's a really nice family-friendly brunch. I think it will cater to all family members. So let's say if you're a mother and you want to give your, the father a very nice present, come and bring all the family over. It will be beautiful. And the cool thing about this promotion is that we're going to have a $10 guest donation to the St. George and St. John Senior Citizens Home. So.
Oh, okay. So sounds good.
We're taking it's more than 10% actually of.
You guys doing some
everything.
Doing some community outreach on the side as well.
Yes. And we're going to have live entertainment too, some very nice music. When you come to our brunch, you don't just come and eat. You come and really enjoy with the whole family the place. Yes.
Okay.
Like we have guests staying for long periods of time, having a nice family chat, maybe connecting to other families in the restaurant. So it's more of like spend a
Okay.
good part of the day there and enjoy the scenery. So it's very very nice.
So are you open 7? Is it so? It's on the Dune, right?
On the Dune.
On the
restaurant.
Dune. That's the On the Dune restaurant. It's on the Four Seasons property, folks. So in case you're just joining us, this is Alejandro Borjas. Are you the chef or
No, I'm assistant restaurant manager.
Assistant
for On the
restaurant
Dune.
manager. Okay.
Our restaurant is very particular. We actually are 2 managers on duty of the restaurant. Me and Fernando Martinez. We're a team that we focus on giving the best experience on that restaurant.
Okay. So you. How many days per week are you open? What day are you closed? Because obviously the workers need rest. So I
Yes.
imagine there's a closed day.
We have rotations actually of how close it is. You always have to call. Like really, our restaurant mostly in dinners is based on reservations.
Okay.
In the lunch, you can come without a reservation, but we do have a rotational off days of the restaurant because the restaurant needs to rest, do some maintenance,
Okay.
So it's on a rotation basis.
Oh, so it could vary. So 1 week you might
So
and
it's
then-
better to call ahead,
Okay.
like, hey, I want to.
What's the number you call on the June?
So to call on the Dune for reservations for Father's Day brunch and any other occasion, it's 869-469-1111. I'm going to repeat again. 869-469-1111. So you feel free to call anytime and just talk to our reservations team and just, make an appointment to come to us. I think this brunch is going to be epic. As I said, live music, really cool environment to enjoy with the family. Our brunch menu is incredible. If you want, we can talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
So we're going to have all the brunch inclusions are going to be, we're going to have a breakfast corner, an omelette station, a waffle station, a cheese and charcuterie board. We're going to have soup, a salad bar. We're going to have different types of appetizers like vegetable spring rolls, citrus chili sauce, California rolls, spicy tuna rolls, Nevisian corn fritters with scotch bonnet atolli. We have our main courses are shrimp and pineapples, skewers with teriyaki glaze, curried lamb ossobuco. So that one is really cool.
Curried lamb.
Yeah,
Wow.
curried lamb ossobuco. But the thing is that we have a combination of chefs there. We have Chef Savi. He's from Barbados. He's incredible in giving the Caribbean touch. And we also have 2 chefs, Rahul and Raj. They're from India. So we give a really cool combinations of dishes for the brunch.
That's some pretty nice fusion going on there, I have to say. Yeah.
Yes. And our mains, we have also pan-seared red snapper with citrus sauce. We're gonna have a carving station and live grill with oven roasted beef, ribeye, barbecue pork ribs, grilled jerk, chicken wings. We're gonna have many sides, lots of desserts. So it's a very nice.
And all of this is for the On the June Father's Day brunch.
Yes.
$85 per adult and $35 kids. Folks, are you listening to this? I never knew that there was a restaurant called On the Dune at Four Seasons. So now you know. Father's Day brunch. It's $85 adults, $35 kids. If you want to make reservations, you can call 469-1111. Hey, actually, you have a call. Let's see what the caller has to say.
All right.
Caller, go right ahead for Alejandro. He's the assistant restaurant manager at On the Dune. Go right ahead.
Trevor, I would like to ask the gentleman a question.
Mhm.
I would like to ask him, do they have any delivery service connected with them, like 869 or whatever? And if they don't, do they plan to have any delivery service connected to them so that people can order from them?
Yes, actually, we're not gonna have delivery service done because we're focused on a localized brunch buffet. So our whole package is you come and you can eat anything you want from the buffet
and it's the
time.
experience
Yes.
at On the Dune.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Of course, if you would like to have one, I can discuss it over with my colleague, and maybe we can arrange something But please just call reservations. You can address your need, and maybe I can do something for you. Let's see what we can do.
That was a good question, actually. Yeah.
Actually, it's cool because if you wanted to bring it over to your house, right? But I need to discuss that over with my colleague and see how we can do with the logistics, because if you're here in St. Kitts, we have to bring someone out, put it on the ferry. It will cost you a lot more for sure.
Yeah.
Yes,
it certainly will. On the drink side, now I guess I could ask about Father's Day, but generally, what kinds of interesting drinks can we expect?
Yeah, so we definitely have different types of mocktails. We have cocktails. We have different Navision spritzers. We have all the.
What's an Navision spritzer? Tell me what's in
that. It's a rum with a nice citrus punch. We put a little spicy glaze on top. So it's like a little Navision rum punch, and then we put a little thing on it.
Okay.
It's pretty cool. It's very refreshing.
Navision spritzer. Okay. And I guess you can get the standard fare I guess martinis and so on. If you want,
yes. Well, in the we're gonna have a set of cocktails. We're gonna have open bars, right, in the place. So you'll feel free to have many types of cocktails.
Okay. This is more for me. Beer. Do you have any other than the domestic beer? Do you have a nice beer selection?
Normally we have the domestic beer,
Just the domestic
and then we have Skull and Carib, and then also we have the Coronas.
Corona, okay.
Yeah, Coronas. All right. That's our normal offer.
Okay. So Alejandro Borjas, don't forget he's the assistant restaurant manager at the Four Seasons on the Dune restaurant, and we're talking about their Father's Day brunch. It's $85 a head, adults, and $35 for kids. If you want to make reservations, you can call on the Dune at 869-469-1111. And let me ask a question. Yes. So I guess if you took a ferry over, like you took one of those water taxis over, it would probably dock right at Four Seasons, right?
So no, they dock in Wally Beach. If you want to arrange something different, you will have to arrange with the ferry.
Okay.
For sure.
Because I knew you guys had a pier, so I was thinking that maybe I was just thinking that given Father's Day, some of the water taxis might be thinking, okay, we can probably take them straight to.
Yeah. Maybe I can talk to them if they agree. I will let you know. Maybe you can promote it here on the radio, like a news, like, hey guys, we have that available. I can talk to them actually today.
Okay. Although the scenic route is fine too, because when I drive to Nevis and you get off at Wally Beach, you have the nice picturesque drive to wherever you're going. It's beautiful, right? So either way it works.
I want to say something about the brunch. Because we were just discussing drinks, the brunch includes every non-alcoholic drinks. If you want an alcoholic drink, you have to do it extra.
Okay.
Because it's an all-inclusive brunch. We give you all the non-alcoholic drinks you want. Any
alcoholic, you have to pay for those.
Yes.
That's more than fine.
Yes.
$85. That's US or EC?
Yes, it's US.
It's US. Okay.
US.
So $85 US for adults and $35 kids. It's the Father's Day brunch at on the Dune. That's at the Four Seasons, the glorious Four Seasons resort. Alejandro, I'll give you the last word.
Well, I definitely invite you guys to come over. It will be a great place to be.
Oh, you forgot to give me social media.
Yes. So for Four Seasons, of course, Instagram, Four Seasons Nevis.
Okay.
That's our main one.
Okay.
The one that is the most popular
one. You guys have IG, and I guess you have Facebook as well.
Yes, it's Four Seasons Nevis also.
Four Seasons Nevis. Okay.
Yes. But Instagram is the ruler right now. It's the one taking over.
Okay.
Yes. So please, guys, feel free to call if you have any other questions. I think it's gonna be a great experience. And
I think so too.
We'll take care of you. It will be a really nice time.
And Father's Day is actually this Sunday. Is it this Sunday?
It's June 16th.
June 16th. So that's this
June
Sunday.
16th.
So folks, if you're just hearing like me, hearing about the On the June restaurant at Four Seasons, they're having a Father's Day brunch this Sunday. $85 US adults, $35 kids, and it's an all-inclusive buffet. You're gonna have to pay extra for the alcoholic drinks over the top, but I think that's more than fine. For reservations, call 469-1111, 469-1111 for reservations at the Four Seasons On the June restaurant. You can also catch them at Four Seasons Nevis at Instagram and Facebook. And Alejandro, it was a lot of fun. He's the assistant manager, and
sure.
Okay.
Great time.
All right, great.
Time.
And I hope you said you had over 300 people for Mother's Day, so I'm sure this is going to be sounds really good.
Yes, I think we deserve it, right? All parents deserve also like the mothers, but the fathers too, man.
People like to say that fathers get bad treatment compared to the mothers.
Yes.
But I'm pretty sure everybody likes to eat, so they're gonna want to find an excuse to come and check this out.
Exactly.
On the June.
Yes,
right.
we deserve it.
Okay, great.
All right, it's a pleasure.
And
it's a pleasure.
You're welcome anytime.
Thank you.
Okay, great.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Magnum, my brand. Everybody put your Magnum in the air now. From you a drink Magnum, make me see. Take charge of things now your place now. From the river to the beach to the street. Hot Magnum when me have in a me hand there. Here a sipper, she tell me sweet. Look for me watch for your quick time check. Yeah. Right now a Magnum a for your beat. Enjoy yourself every day of the week with a Magnum. My life I forget sweeter. Must be 18 years and older to drink. Drink responsibly.
Soca Zone presents Showcase. Is a brand new show. It's an open mic edition for the artists. You can come and showcase your talent, where you can sing, do what you feel like, freestyle. If you want to be a singer from how long, but don't get the push nor the courage, this is the show for you. Every first Saturday, every month, we're going to be doing a show for the artists them. This is what the open mic edition is all about. The host Hazlem, aka DJ Raspy of Tough Out Sound, and Scratchy Bama. We don't know. Soca Zone 98.9, Win FM, Soca Zone Showcase. Every first Saturday, every month, Soca Zone presents Showcase Artist Thing 98.9.
Do you want to know what's happening in sport? Tune into On The Ball, a weekly tour show which is on Win FM 98.9 every Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. with me, your host, Troy Biff Mills. We will keep you on the ball with our variety of guests and, of course, your calls, discussing the facts and the stats and sharing your opinions. Get on the ball and stay on the ball by tuning into On The Ball with Troy Biff Mills on Win FM 98.9 every Tuesday night from 7 to 9 p.m. and also on Facebook and YouTube. Be on the ball.
Hey, have you heard about the water shortage in our area?
Yeah, it's pretty serious. I've been trying to conserve water as much as possible.
Me too. I've started taking shorter showers and turning off the faucet when I brush my teeth.
Well, that's great. Another way to save water is to fix any leaks in your house.
Oh, I hadn't thought of that. How much water can a leak waste?
A small leak can waste up to 20 gallons of water daily, which can really add up over time.
Wow, that's a lot. And have to check for any leaks in my house.
But another good tip is to only run your dishwasher and washing machine when they're full to save water and energy.
I'll keep that in mind. It's important that we all do our part to conserve water, especially during this shortage.
Absolutely. Every drop counts.
This message was brought to you by the St. Kitts Water Services Department. Learn more at water.gov.kn.
Everybody beware, you better prepare. Disaster can happen anytime, anywhere. Everybody beware, you better prepare. Disaster can happen anytime, anywhere.
Comprehensive disaster management is about every one of us being ready to manage any natural or man-made event like hurricanes, earthquakes, tsunamis, fires, oil spills, or volcanoes. It's about having your home or business prepared with an emergency plan as applied. It's prevention. Keeping your home, business, or community well maintained and safe. It's about being able to get your life back on track after the event. Will you be ready? Visit NEMA.kn or log on to NEMA SKN on Facebook.
Everybody beware, you better prepare. Disaster can happen anytime, anywhere. Everybody beware.
This is the official invitation to the Conscious Party.
Get conscious, get down to business every Wednesday with Conscious Business. Join the Conscious Musical Reasoning with Select the Highest, Strictly Positive and Conscious Music on Conscious Business on WinFM 98.9, winfm.com. Vibes include Business Education Corner, Business Quote of the Day, Agriculture Time, and Mama Love Chat of the Day.
Mama, I don't ever want to see you cry.
Conscious Business is brought to you by Light New Steam Cleaning. You too can get exposure and awareness for your business when you call WinFM's sales department to advertise here. Conscious Business is positive growth.
Well, it's we got 9 minutes until 10 o'clock, and coming up at 10 o'clock this morning, of course, we have Money Matters with Dr. Terrence Martin. I don't know what's on his agenda, but I'm sure it's going to be pretty good. It always is. So I look forward to this morning's edition of Money Matters, and of course at 11 we have Voices with Socrates. He's going to be coming in. So in the meantime, how about you guys give me a call if there's anything else you want to mention? Just to run through this amazing Father's Day brunch experience you guys might want to check out on the weekend. It's at Four Seasons, the On the June restaurant, which I knew nothing about before this. I actually thought this restaurant just opened. He said it's been open for 10 years. I had Alejandro Barjas, the assistant restaurant manager, talking about their Father's Day brunch. You can call 469-1111 for reservations. Okay, let's go to the phone lines. Caller, go right ahead.
Trevor?
Hey.
Yes, Trevor, yeah. I would like to say two things. First of all, concerning the issue we had earlier, I would like to tell.
Oh God. Okay, call back. I was having some trouble here with the phone. I was trying to drop one line. So, Greg, you can call me back. There was a issue here with the buttons were sticking. So, call me back and I'll put you back on. So yes, I was saying the Father's Day brunch at Four Seasons on the June restaurant. It's $85 for adults and kids $35. Now, it's important to note that the alcoholic drinks, you're going to have to pay for those, but non-alcoholic drinks are included in the price. $85 US, $35 US for kids, and reservations 469-1111. And you can go check out the Four Seasons Nevis IG and Facebook page. All right. Okay, back to the phone lines. Okay, phones don't seem to want to cooperate. So, okay, call back, folks. Don't forget, coming up in about 8 minutes, we have Money Matters with Dr. Terrence Martin. So, I await your calls. Caller, go right ahead.
Yeah, James, something happened?
Yeah. I was just having some issues with the phone. I was trying to drop another line. Go ahead.
Okay, no problem. What I would like to say, and I try to make it as quick as possible. Number one, in the book of James, chapter 2, Paul said, you know, a rich man coming to your assembly talking to each other. No, Paul didn't say what James said. James said in the book of James, chapter 2, a rich man coming to your assembly and you give him special privileges. A poor man coming to your assembly and you set, and you put him in the lowest places to sit. James said, no, that is wrong. That is wrong. Nobody deserves no special privileges in the church. I don't care whether they be for security, whatever. Nobody in the church service deserves any special privileges. Everybody is on the same level. Read the book of James, chapter 2, and also in addition, read 1 Corinthians chapter 3 as well. To supplement that thought as well. Second point, I realize since Dame Marcella Liebert is his attorney, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I realized, Trevor, that since she became Governor General, that all talk about we becoming a republic has finished about it. You know, even Rasila X, who used to talk much about it, well, at least on Win FM, I don't, and at least the time that I've heard him spoken, I haven't heard him even address that.
Yes, but why are you assuming there's a direct correlation between her being Governor General and talk of republichood dying down? There's not necessarily a connection.
Both of them just seem to me to have happened at the same time.
No.
Yeah, since the talk was hot before, but since she became, and I said to myself in my mind, I believe this talk of becoming a Republican, I said that in my mind. And so said, so done. Since then, to me, the talk have died down. Since then.
Yeah, but I don't think
explanation.
I don't think there's any direct causation, really, or correlation between.
Well, I don't know of any other explanation. I don't know, but the both of them seem to have happened about the same time. The dark talk died down not too long after she became Governor General.
Nah, I don't think. I don't think you should read anything into that.
Okay. But how come the talk has died down? What's the reason for it?
Well, they have other priorities right now. Honestly, I mean, come on.
No, I'm talking about the people.
Yeah, but we have other priorities right now. Some people are wondering, if you don't have a job, you're wondering where the next job is coming from. You really think that? Sure. You really think that we should have a president? You really think that's a priority if you don't know? If you don't know how you're going to pay your rent in 2 weeks?
Yeah, but people want to complain before she became Governor General. That those things were talked long before she became Governor General. People were complaining about the inflation, hard life, that sort of stuff. That ain't happened. This hard life complain about jobs, and that ain't happened since she became Governor General. That was going on long before she became Governor General.
Okay, Gregory, I'm going to have to wrap up this because I have to go get ready for Money Matters.
Okay, but I want to say that we should become a republic, and we should become a republic.
As much as it pains me, I have agreed with you on 3 separate issues this morning. I don't know what's going on. Maybe I need to get some breakfast or something. But
thank you, General.
All right. Okay, folks. So we have Money Matters coming up. So I'm gonna go get ready for that. And we have Dr. Terrence Martin. He has me at gunpoint in here, actually. Okay, we're gonna wrap up Island Tea. We should have Chef Rich with us tomorrow, along with AZ, and for the rest of the week, and we're gonna do that. We have Money Matters coming up. 9:57.
Found the sound. 98.9 Win FM.
Feel the magic happening.